Hey friends, welcome to the Choose Happy podcast. I'm your host, Nazy. It is October 30th, and today I'm speaking with a very special guest. He is hilarious. He's got a great sense of humor. He's Mr. Positivity. You'll always see him laughing. He's a super hard worker, dedicated to service, and just an all-around nice guy. Very popular on social media, too. He's my father-in-law, Mr. Wilson, as I call him. And you want to hear all about his advice in life? That's what we're going to be talking about today, because he just recently turned 80 years old and he's got a lot of funny and great advice to give. So we're going to pick his brain. You ready, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. Mr. Wilson, hello, how you doing?
Fine. Very good.
Why don't you introduce yourself to our friends who are listening? Tell me a little bit about who Mr. Wilson is.
I'm just an old guy that's been around for 80 years. Born and raised in Eureka. Moved to Arcata in 62. Been here ever since. Married a very lovely lady. And got 3 great kids. And a lot of grandkids.
Whoa.
And great daughter-in-laws.
Hey, here we are. Listen, you are the best father-in-law I could have ever asked for. So I'm so grateful for that. We just had a big surprise party for you for your 80th birthday. And the day that we're recording this podcast is the day before you're going into surgery.
It's
A pretty big surgery. What's that all about?
some heart problems, aneurysm, valve leakage, and a little blockage.
So they're going to really open you up,
Yeah,
right?
they call it a 3-in-1 surgery. Yeah.
A 3-in-1 surgery. So obviously that's got to rattle your nerves a little
A little
bit.
bit, yeah. I'm a little not scared, just nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, nervous. But you're surrounded by people who love you. Everybody's here. All the family's rallying behind you. And you are a popular guy on social media, sir.
But not all of them met me.
You got fans. They come out of the woodworks, these folks. I mean, no, you're really active on Facebook. And you're one of the guys who's from that day and age where you just say it like it is. You know, you don't really sugarcoat.
Might as well get her done. Just say it.
You know, I feel like you could do that more back then. These days, it's like when we post, people get offended so easily about everything, huh?
Yeah, ridiculous.
But you don't let it roll. You just let it roll off your back.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless somebody really irritates me, then I get things to say.
I love that. I admire that
Yeah.
because I feel like this day and age, everyone is afraid to say how they really feel. And so a bunch of people are walking around not saying how they really feel, and it's not authentic. So, that's something I admire about you. What are some of the things that you can share with us? Whenever I get an opportunity to speak with somebody who is of your age, 80 years old, you've been around a long time, you've lived a lot of life, you've had some probably ups and downs and mistakes and lessons learned. What are some takeaways that you could share with maybe someone half your age, like me?
Just try hard, do your best, do good in school. I think that's very important. I wish I would have done better. And then apply yourself and stay off the cigarettes, stay off the booze.
No cigarettes, no booze. That's good advice.
Yep.
Where'd you grow up?
Eureka, California.
Where'd you go to school?
Eureka High School.
Wow. So you literally have been around locally for forever. What was your favorite part of school?
Cutting class. I'm sorry, but I did that a lot. So.
It's a good one. Did you play any sports, or what was your hobby? What were your hobbies in high school?
Well, I was going to play sports, but we had a business shop that my dad liked us to be there after school.
Yeah.
And so, and I liked the money I was getting doing it. So,
what kind of work were you doing for your dad in the business?
radiator and battery business.
Nice.
Did that for up to 1995.
Wow. Yeah, Ed has told me about that. Obviously, Ed is my husband, and Mr. Wilson is my father-in-law. So, were you a good student, or were you like a wild child? Did you party back then?
I was a student.
I was a student.
I partied. I did. I partied a little more than I should have. Yes, I did. And I tend to like the ladies a lot.
Yeah, right. I've seen some of the pictures of you, and you're a handsome lad. I see where my husband gets it from. And I'm so excited. I mean, you're 80 years old. You got a full head of hair. I'm
Yeah.
in good luck with my husband and
Yeah.
his
A
genes, huh?
little more gray than I'd like to have, but I got it. Yeah. So I'll take it.
Well, what keeps you so positive? You're always in such a good mood.
Well, there's been times when I wasn't, and it's about things have been a lot better the last 20 years. I got off the sauce. To be honest with you,
Yeah. No, let's talk
and
about that.
I quit drinking and stuff, and made things better at home. And just and the hardware store. It got me out of the business I was in. Was a good business, but it was tough.
Yeah.
The hardware
Battery
store
business.
became a big candy store to work in. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I can't believe you're 80 and you go to work. You go to work, you go to the hardware store, and then you also volunteer at the police department. You're
Yes,
a busy guy.
I love that.
How do you not get
Yeah.
tired?
Well, if you sit around and lay around, you're not going to be 82.
Right.
Or not 81. You're going to end up in the boneyard. I don't want that. So
Yeah, what is it? An object that stays in motion, that an object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest stays at rest.
that's about it, too. Yeah.
You keep going.
I've had too many of my friends that just retired, and then all of a sudden they did all the homework they could do around the house, and then they had nothing else to do, so they just wound up
Yeah.
demised.
No,
Yeah.
that's too bummer. My husband is retiring soon. What advice would you give him going into retirement?
Enjoy it, but he's never going to be totally retired. He's always going to be doing something. So, and big loss for Eureka Police Department. Big loss.
I know. He'll stick around and have his hands in it somehow, still
yes.
involved. He's such a great man of service, and I'm sure he learned a lot of that from you. Because you were a reserve back in the day, right? I've seen your pictures.
I was a reserve officer at Arcata for 6 years.
That's awesome.
Sergeant.
Yeah.
Loved every second of it. I should have left the shop and went to work at the police department, but I didn't want a bunch of bosses. I was my own boss. It was pretty hard to turn that down. So.
Yeah, and it's so dangerous, So what was it like, growing up without a cell phone? Like, how did you contact people?
Well, sort of like when you didn't have a TV, you had a radio. So
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd be on Facebook and cell phone and all that stuff. But
right.
And my wife she was never going to have a cell phone. Now I can't get her off of it. So.
Cookie's always showing me videos and pictures on her phone. Let's back it up a little bit. You said you got off the sauce, and I think that's really important. That's my husband sneezing in the background, honey. Thanks for that. I told him, honey, just try to be quiet while we're recording this podcast. Take your flip-flops off and just sit down. Yeah. Love you. No, but really, I don't drink either. Me and alcohol do not mix, so I stay away from. My husband doesn't drink. And I think a lot of people, it is a disease and it is an affliction and addiction that many people suffer with. And I don't think it's talked about enough.
No.
So what did you learn, and how were you able to move away from drinking?
Well, basically the health issues. I started having problems. They say you better quit the beer and stuff. And so if you're going to quit, just quit. It's like when I quit smoking the last time, I just said, hey, no more. I haven't done it for 25 years. So
wow.
Yeah.
So 25 years, you just cold turkey.
Just cold turkey. Never. They gave me pills called Zyban, and I threw those away with the cigarettes because they irritated me. I couldn't sleep at night. So.
Yeah, but quitting alcohol can be really dangerous if you do it cold turkey. So if anybody's listening, definitely seek some medical supervision if you are.
Mine was just too much beer.
But you were able to do it.
Yeah. I would drink it too much. I had to have hard stuff since '85. Wow. I just quit doing that because.
What's the hard stuff? Oh, like hard alcohol?
Yeah, because it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, you have a good time when you're, until you wake up and you think, what did I do? What did I say? Where did I go?
Oh, I did that many times.
Yeah, the blackouts. No.
Yeah. How'd I get here?
Yeah, no, I like to be in full control and know what I'm doing and what I'm saying and where I'm going. So what advice would you give to someone who may still be suffering in the middle of something like that?
Just back off. So if maybe do it slower, but just back off. You should be able to enjoy a drink once in a while and still have a good time.
Unless you're an alcoholic, and then you got to cut it all the way out.
If you're doing it in the morning like I was doing for years,
there's no moderation.
There's no moderation.
No, you got to just and life is better. I completely agree that, it's been
I think a
several
lot
years.
of people, I think alcohol is not a popular thing as it used to be years ago. But people, I don't see
Yeah.
the big parties or the big booze parties anymore, and the bars full all the time. Of course, there's very few bars left. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I haven't had a drink in 7 years, so I don't remember really what that was like. And I like that. I like that I don't have a clear mind.
yeah.
And I know the decisions that I'm making in
Yeah.
life.
The bad part, I get funny when I can't handle being around people with cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, that's why I
Oh,
don't go
yeah.
to the casino. So, yeah, I don't want one of those born again people. I'm just not, I'm not like that.
You're not born again. You're
Yeah,
just healthy.
yeah.
Well, what is your faith like?
Faith,
Yeah.
I believe. I just don't practice it. I don't. My wife is a staunch Catholic,
Yeah.
and she goes to church. And I did their bingo for them.
I did their bingo for
I
him?
did their bingo for years. They call me the heathen, but
Oh, the heathen.
But I did their bingo for 18 years.
So, like, you set up the bingo
Yeah.
things?
Did all for their
That's awesome.
for the bonanza they used to have.
Oh, how fun.
Which they don't have anymore. It's just a shame. So
Were you Catholic growing up?
no Protestant. Went to church every Easter.
Wow.
And that's still the time.
That's the only time. Yeah, Cookie's very,
Oh yes, her whole family is very dedicated.
Yeah.
And the boys were, once they got 18, it was up to them to do what they wanted,
Yeah.
And Jody still goes. Gary has a different church, and
Eddie's a man of faith, and we pray together, and we do believe,
you don't always have to go to church to be the believer. And all that stuff.
Completely. We pray together. We believe that couples who pray together stay together, and prayer and faith are a very big part of our marriage and foundation. And so, but to each their own. We don't preach anything on anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about your life and how you met my mother-in-law.
met my wife in Marino's Club at Arcata.
What was that?
It's a bar.
Oh, you met her at a bar.
Well, I was. Please hang out a little bit.
Was she a partier back then?
No, she was in there with her cousin, and I went in there and I started seeing her. And then I had a guy one night. He said to me, he says, "Paul, I want to go out with this gal over named Arlene, and I don't know how to do." I go, "Oh, she's got a boyfriend, I think. Now I wouldn't even bother with her." And that boyfriend was me.
And then you made yourself her boyfriend?
Well, she sort of said she dumped her guy she had, so yep, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was all bliss back then. Now, if you've been married for 50 years, you have to look for the word bliss.
You have to look for the word. Do you remember asking her out for the first time, what that was like?
Yeah, I do. I remember asking her out, and she said yes. And then I took her home that night, and I asked her if she would like to go again, and she said, "I'll have to think about it." And I said,
Of course she said. That's such a Cookie response.
And I said to her, in my arrogant way, I said, "I don't ask the second time."
That's right.
And luckily, she agreed with me, and she went out with me. It was interesting because there was an incident that took place, and I could have been in trouble with her by arresting somebody that was close to her. If I would arrest him, I don't think we'd be Mr. and Mrs. Wilson today. But that was years ago. Fun times, and yeah.
Where'd you take her for your first date? Do you remember?
I think we went to the Big Four.
What was that?
It was a big Italian restaurant.
Oh,
I think we went.
fun.
I'm pretty sure we went there. Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food, I guess, would be prime rib, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big steak eater.
Once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. But my mother used to make chicken dumplings. No one knows how to make those anymore. So.
Ooh.
And
what's your favorite thing that Cookie makes?
Tuna casserole.
Ooh.
I love tuna casserole.
I haven't had her tuna casserole.
Born and raised that stuff years ago. And when we have a potluck at this grade school, wherever my mom put her dish, that's the table I sat at. I didn't care if I knew anybody there. I sat there.
Tell me about your parents.
Well, my dad was a hardworking man. He spent 18 years on the city council in Eureka.
Oh.
Then he got sick. He died really young, 54.
From what?
Yeah. Heart problems. actually lung and heart problems.
Was he a smoker too, or no?
Oh yeah, yeah. Back then, they didn't have filter cigarettes either.
Oh man.
Everything was a good old Lucky Strike. We all smoked Lucky Strikes back
Whew.
then, all that stuff. Then we graduated to the filters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought we were saving our souls and our life. We were. So.
I'm glad you quit.
And then my mom,
addictive.
she just was a housewife the whole time. And after my dad died, she kept the house. And, she made it to 96. And she wouldn't have broke her hip. She'd still be going, I'm sure. Yeah.
And so when she broke her hip, how did that take her out of commission? Like how did
it just took her out of dependency and stuff. And she had to be packed everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed the hip, but her bones were so fragile that the pins fell out, the screws and stuff.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
But she was pretty good up to the last. She had good. I mean, she knows how to tell somebody off. Believe me. Yeah.
What were your parents' names? Full names?
My mom's name was Eula Maxine.
Eula Maxine.
My dad's name was Orville.
Orville. That's where my husband gets his middle name.
Orville Roy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Orville
the boys didn't always like the name that I gave up in the middle. Eddie did. I mean, Orville's not bad, but
I love that name.
Yeah.
I'm always like, that's how I know. You know, when you Google somebody, when I first started Googling, when I first started dating, you Google the person that you're dating, and that's an easy one because Eddie Wilson, there's like a million Eddie Wilsons, but Orville, that's how I was able to find him. Edward Orville Wilson.
I remember at graduation when he was crossing the stage, everybody was going, "Hi, Orv."
Maybe that's what I should call him. I call him Wills, as a nickname, but maybe I should call him Orv. What do you think, Orv? He's laughing. Thanks, Dad.
We named Gary Morris in the middle name, and we had so many other Pauls. That's why we didn't name him Gary Paul, But because I had an uncle named Paul Wilson, have a nephew, a cousin called Paul Wilson. So,
and just so our listeners know, your name is actually Paul Wilson. Yes. I just call you Mr. Wilson because I like to call you Mr. Wilson.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Because that's polite. And when I first met you, which I met you on a ride-along story that I was doing when you were a volunteer at Arcata Police Department.
Yes.
And you took me on a ride-along, and it was very fun to watch how you are in the field and the things that you do. In fact, on our way here, you brought your scanner with you.
Yeah, I just went on to see what some of the other departments were talking about, But I used to listen to Scanner daily, but since Eureka's no longer on the scanner, you can't get them on scanner anymore where they're set up. I don't listen to it near as I used to. Yeah. So.
What are you listening for? What excites you about being in the know?
Just everything. If I could put a blue uniform on again, right now at my age, I'd love to.
Yeah. So you must have been so proud when my husband became a police officer and now sergeant.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Is it crazy to see him come full circle and almost retire from his career?
Yeah, and after my dad been here for 18 years in Eureka, if he wouldn't have passed away, he'd had 22 years as a councilman. And he was very pro-police.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We need that. Yeah. So what was it like being a dad? Tell us about your first experience.
As a dad, nervous wreck. But I was always nervous about the kids. You're afraid they're going to get hurt. You take them somewhere, you're afraid that something's going to happen. And I just never really enjoyed it like I should have. Yeah.
Well, I think every parent is overly concerned about, especially on your firstborn, you know. You had Gary. And
then tonight we had Gary. My wife, it was New Year's.
Yeah, because he was born on New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
We had this big spread. My wife's on the couch and she's moaning and screaming. And I'm trying to eat something and I can't eat it because she would have hurting so bad. So I got on the phone with the doctor and I said, she needs some help. And we get the big fight, doctor and I said, goddamn. And so he gives her something. If she would give the pill, he wouldn't give the pills to her. She would have been the first baby in the state. Gary would have been.
Oh.
Because he slowed it down. So we had that, that night way late. So, yeah.
That changed how you celebrate New Year's every year?
We never went out after that because you didn't want to wake up the next morning just all sloppy, feeling bad in your little, celebrate your son's birthday,
You must have been such a proud dad, little boy.
On all my kids, yeah. I'll never forget when Eddie was born. He was the last one in Trinity Hospital.
Oh.
He was transferred over to Bad River, and we had to put him back in. He had a few
Wait,
problems.
he was in Trinity Hospital?
Trinity Hospital where
So
he
how
was
did that
born.
happen?
Well, they switched hospitals. They closed down Trinity.
Oh.
The next day, they become Bad River down.
The day that he was born, they switched?
Day after.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, they were. That's where it just fell out.
So it was called Trinity Hospital, and then they changed the
name
the
built
next
college
day.
by the college out there.
Okay.
And then and everything was fine. We had a good time. And then Jody came along, and I almost missed this one. I mean, when I went in, I said she's already in delivery, and Barbara, my sister-in-law, was with me. And so after the baby was born, Barbara says, "You want to go out and have a drink or so?" I go, "Yeah, after the baby's circumcised, we'll do that."
Wait.
And Barbara said, "That's a girl, Paul."
It's a girl. Wait a second.
Yeah. And we went out, and I got on my radio because I was the captain of the fire department.
Oh.
And I got on the radio, and I announced I had a baby girl. And
How cute.
Yeah. So
you must have been so proud.
Yeah, well, I spent 22 years in the fire department.
Wow.
Yeah. That was fun times. Wild times. I mean, it was a wild crew with a good bunch of people. Yeah.
So you were also with the fire department. Man, you've been all over the place. So you're a guy of service overall.
Yeah,
but before you start asking you about that, I want to back it up because tell me about my husband's birth. What was that like? Was he 11 pounds?
Yeah, it was big. Yeah, big thing. He had combat boots on when he came out.
He had combat boots on when he came out.
Yeah, he had to. I tell you, he had to go back. He had to stay. He had jaundice.
Oh.
And they put him under the light and stuff like that, and that
light.
petrified me.
Yeah, that's real, and it must be scary and exhausting.
Well, he had to leave him in the hospital when you went. But everything turned out fine. The kids all grew up pretty good. I remember when we went camping one time, just Gary and I and Ed, and because my wife didn't want to go right there, so we went down and we had the campsite all set up, and I'm sitting there, and the boys are down at the river, and I hear. I think it was Gary screaming, Eddie's hurt, Eddie's bleeding. Well, Gary threw a rock and put a hole in his head.
No, I know. I've seen the scar.
Yeah, he got the hole in his head. And we ended up, luckily I had taken a first aid class a couple nights before, days before, that head injury bleed real fast, so they quit,
Oh, man.
So I called my wife. I said, "You better bring some spare clothes down."
Oh, no. So he didn't go to the hospital or anything?
Oh, no.
You just old school wrapped it up.
And... Yeah.
What were the kids' personalities like growing up?
Good. Gary was all sports. Eddie was all sports, too. Eddie didn't get the recognition because he didn't play everything like Gary did. But Eddie was a hell of a baseball catcher.
Yeah, and he's an umpire now.
Good football, yeah.
Very into baseball.
And Jody played volleyball. And Gary played all the sports. And that's what we did. We went to the games. I closed my shop down sometimes just to go to the game. And,
yeah, you guys are a very big sports family.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
And my wife was
she still is.
Good athlete. I mean, she is.
Oh, what kind of sports does she play?
Well, she just, they had intramural back in those days,
How fun.
And I watched her play baseball, softball, and she could throw a ball across the field better than most of the guys could.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was bucking hay behind the fire station. They had hay, and they were going to sell it to her uncle, and so she went to the guy, "We'll load it." She said, "I'll take your money."
No
bales
way.
Up on the truck, yeah.
Oh.
And the guys were amazed, yeah.
You're like, that's my girl right there.
Yeah, she could do that, yeah. Yeah, she put up a lot of crap for me, so I can't, I give her a lot of credit for, we got fire guys, we'd go to a fire at 10 o'clock and not get home at 4, even though the fire got put on at 11.
Oh, no.
We'd get home to way late, Then we'd have our meetings and we'd go out. Always go to the bar and stuff like that. And back then, when I first came, this was a fantastic town, Arcadia was. It was just really neat, quiet. Even when I got on the police department, it was fun. I had to arrest a lot of people, some of my friends.
Oh, wow.
But you did your job because that's the way it was supposed to be. And but then the Vietnam War hit, and that changed the prospect of what police were all about. Police had to stop the riots that were taking place, so they became sort of an enemy. Even though they probably agreed with the guys that were doing the protesting. So, but you take an oath, you got to do it. So,
yeah. What was your department called that you were working for?
Arcata Police.
And what about the fire department?
Arcata Volunteer.
Okay, got it. So Arcata, which is where you currently reside still.
Yep.
We're recording this in Sacramento right now because you're going into surgery tomorrow. And I know that it's a big deal, but we're very excited for you because you're going to be, you're in the best of hands. You've got an incredible doctor. We know that they know what they're doing. And I think that you're going to be just fine.
Oh, I think so. Once they put me to sleep, do what you want, guys.
What is your take on, what's your take on what happens, after life? Like if, I mean, I don't even want to say it. I can't even say it. It's going to go great. But the reality is it's a very dangerous surgery.
After life, I'm coming back as a cop.
That's right. You are always a cop at heart. I mean, it's true.
As a cop,
You have a lot of grandkids.
What's
your favorite part about being a grandfather?
Just the kids. They always say you can always send them home, But no, you just love your grandkids. Sometimes you treat them somewhat more than you did your own kids, And then they get old enough where they don't want to hug anymore.
Aww.
That always hurts a little bit. Yeah. My Jared, the youngest one, he butts hands now, fist.
Oh, fist. Blow it up, Grandpa.
But he doesn't. He doesn't throw the hug around your neck anymore. So.
Isn't that crazy?
And the kids are all great. I mean, they're all they're fine and have a good time, and we love them all. So,
what's the most challenging thing that you went through as a parent or a grandparent with your family?
Well, I think the toughest part when Dad died because he was so young. Gary was just a year old.
What do you remember about that day?
Just the last Christmas we were together. He died my dad died on Christmas Day.
Right. Eddie's told me about that.
That was a tough one, yeah. But
did that change Christmas for you, for a while, or?
Well, it did. No, because my mother maintained the tradition up until she had to move out of the house, and that went for years and years. We sort of knew something was wrong when one night we were doing a little prayer thing, and my mother started crying at Christmas Eve, and I could sense something wasn't right. So, and just part of life. It's everybody goes through it, and you don't want to go through it, but you do. So,
yeah.
That's the only bad part about getting old. As you get older, your relatives get older.
So tell me about that. I mean, I always think of that. The older I get, you see things happen to people in your life, and that's got to be challenging getting older. And as you get into your elder years, seeing some of your closest, most dear friends pass away. How do you stay positive among that?
Well, it's I don't know. I guess because you see other people going through it. I mean, I pick up the paper and when my dad died, I felt real bad. I was crying myself. Well, the next day, somebody else was going through the same thing. So. And just, it's not so bad when you're older. Like when my mother was 96, I've always hurt badly. But 96 good years.
Yeah, 96 great
years.
That
woman had bacon and eggs for 96 years.
She lived her life.
They would say she was going to get cholesterol. Well, she had it. She didn't show it. Because,
she lived her life.
Oh, yes, she did. Yeah. Between that and fried chicken, oh my God.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing that your mom made?
Chicken and dumplings.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Oh, yes. I think my sister-in-law Sue can make that. I got to try it.
What goes in the dumpling?
God, just basically dough. And
it's chewy and delicious.
It just got this certain,
I feel like people don't make those type of good, yummy soul food stuff.
Well, no, I don't. You don't have the old Italian type ladies doing the cooking anymore. I mean, my gosh,
where's your family from? What's your?
My dad and mom both from Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad came out here and went to work at a dairy farm in Ferndale.
Oh,
and then my mother came out at the same time, and then we went back and we got my dad's brother came out here, and then just a lot of they all started moving out here. So
Wow, from Missouri.
yeah, we
I
still
didn't know
got a
that.
ton of relatives back in Missouri.
Really?
I'm on Facebook with some of them.
I
Yeah.
have in-laws in Missouri. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I got Salzman family and people named Dennis, and there's just a whole bunch. You know, I'll never see them because
Yeah.
unless they come to me because I'm not a traveling man. So,
Yeah. Well, at this stage in your life,
yeah.
what are some of the things that you loved doing when you were younger and you were able to get around easier?
Oh, did a lot of bowling.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, played softball up until I was about 26, 27. So
Wow. You
Yeah.
were serious about your.
we had a shop team, but my brother had a shop team, so we
Have
did
fun.
that. It was fun. And then bowling and then got into the fire department.
Yeah. Which is a huge,
Yeah.
service.
Same time, I was on the city council at about the same time, and that.
You were?
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. I always wanted. My dad was a councilman, so I ran for council in Arcata about 3 years after I moved over there,
What?
and
Yeah.
got elected.
So what was that like? Running for council. I mean, it's always like a very contentious race. So you went up against who did you go up against?
Well, there was 13 of us running
Woo!
at that time.
Did you have
And
debates?
3 of us. Alex Fairless, who's the council back, she's still going to be a councilman over there, and then Rudy, Becky, and myself, we won.
Wow.
And even when some of the opponents even voted for me to make sure other people didn't get in. So I knew when we went to a meeting how the vote was going to be. But they were all good people, really. I mean, we disagreed, but inside I liked them. They were decent. And I bet Wesley Chesbro was on the council with me. Dan Hauser was on the council with me.
Wow. What did you like about being a council member?
Oh, you help people, and you could do more back then. I mean, if a guy called me up and said, "Paul, I got a hole in front of my house. I can't even wreck my tires," I'd call up the city. They'd tell Public Works, "Would you take care of this?"
Wow.
They would go do that.
Not a lot of red tape back then.
Yeah. Now today, I'd have to go through the chamber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one night, a gal, she called me. She says, "I just got to town. I got a house. I got in late. I forgot I haven't had the water turned on, and I got these little kids." So I called up one of the water guys. He said, I'll turn it on." He went over there, nighttime, turned it on for her.
How nice.
That's the kind of stuff you're supposed to be able to do for the public.
Yeah.
Who are paying the bill.
What's changed that you've seen like over the years? I mean, you've lived through several decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of maybe the cultural or technological changes that you've seen that have been big. Like in my lifetime, I'm like, okay, we went, we had the Loma Prieta earthquake, we had 9/11, we had the COVID pandemic. What were some of the big things in your lifetime?
Big earthquake back in way back in the 60s. No, 55, I think it was. It was a big earthquake, which was pretty devastating. I mean, not as bad as the
Loma Prieta?
The bigger one, yeah. But then some major fires in Eureka, the Firestone fire, which
where was that?
Be it 6th and H. Yeah, it's still a tire shop, but it was a Firestone, and the smoke was just green.
Oh man,
green.
Because all the oil.
And it was scary, and we worried about that. And we had a race car driver that drove a race car for my dad, and he was a volunteer, and he stepped on a big nail, went right to his foot.
Oh God!
And the next day, 2 days later, he had to race.
Oh no! Are you
so in order for him to have the pressure, they taped his foot to the gas pedal.
No, they did not.
Yeah, they did. They did. His name was Sam Steers. He was
guys.
a big bruiser. Yeah.
Oh my!
He raced and won. So
you guys are too. You tape his foot to the.
Oh, we used to have the shop. We had wild parties at Christmas time, and because you dealt with the loggers. I mean, there was the loggers everywhere.
Oh, loggers, yeah.
Yeah, there was. Every service station was busy all the time, and they were everywhere. Every bar was busy all the time. They were everywhere too.
That, yeah.
Yeah, it was but it still had the small town atmosphere. I mean, it just where I live in my house right now, where I used to live across from school. When I moved in there, I could sit out in front in a lawn chair, and maybe 5 cars an hour go by. Today, there's 9,000 per day to go by.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you like it better now or before?
Before.
Really?
Yeah, a lot better before. I look at the high school when we were high school kids. I mean, the kids went to school dressed.
Yeah, I mean, look at you. At like 6 in the morning, I come up and you're like fully dressed.
Yeah.
You've got your collared
Yeah.
shirt on. It's ironed, steamed. Your belt, your shoes, like your hair is done. I mean, you
Yeah.
are a gentleman's gentleman.
Kids used to dress really nicely, and I think that's. It's not. It doesn't make it any worse. It just they were just. They were just. Girls had to wear skirts. I'm not talking about mini skirts. They had to wear skirts that were down to their kneecaps.
Yeah.
You know.
Here comes husband. Look at so my husband comes running through. My dog is tiptoeing around the kitchen and on the tick 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 tick, and he's chasing her around. So I just pulled him aside and put him in a chair because actually, Wilson, can you sit on the other chair so you can be on this side of the microphone? Because I want to pick your brain a little bit too. I got the two Mr. Wilsons here with us. Actually,
you can use that chair if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you use Dad's walker, babe? So here comes Mr. Edward Wilson in the house. Say hello, Mr. Wilson.
Hello.
You're going to have to be loud enough to pick up on the mic.
I know.
You know the drill. So Dad's having surgery tomorrow. He's been telling me some cool stories about life. What do you remember about growing up with Dad?
Keep it clean.
Dad was, I feel like Dad had the duty at the fire department when he was a fire captain, a good part of the holidays. So it wasn't uncommon for the fire pickup, which is what they drove. It was called 35. It was just the number of the pickup, but it's what the captain drove. And so it was all being parked in the driveway. Christmases and 4th of July, Dad would usually work in the fireworks, and the city of Arcata would have the fireworks down where Health Sport is now. And before that was even existed, that's where they used to set up the fireworks.
Wow!
And so they used to always put fire personnel and the water truck at the time. Water tender wasn't or tanker at that time. It changed the.
What's the difference between a tender and a tanker?
Well, it's the same thing, but they called it a tanker. But realistically, the reason why they changed that is that I believe an air tanker that drops water for Cal Fire. That's why they switched it. And then there's a water tender and an air tanker. So.
Got it.
Went from big city to small city,
right?
Or vice versa.
But so a lot of that. So Dad being, on the duty for a lot of stuff, and then so in that time they didn't have the pagers, pre-pager days. They did shortly after that, but they had they gave you almost a scanner or a monitor, and you had it at your house, and that's what you had. And the Dad had one in his truck. Yeah, it was like a scanner, and so Dad you could tell he knew when he got a call and would go to it. And then of course they switched over to the pager system later on, which they carried. So he had that on him all the time.
So he did policing, he did fire. You ended up doing some fire and policing.
I did a little bit. Yeah, I did.
That from him?
Well, yeah, I guess that's, and that's where, Fire Chief Justin McDonald in Arcata and Assistant Fire Chief Chris Emmons. I mean, two of my best friends growing up. We all kind of ended up in the same thing, but a little different anyways.
What did you love about having your dad as a dad?
I mean, Dad knew people. I mean, like it was just that whole thing of he's pretty well known in the community, and I think that part of it wasn't too many places we didn't go. There used to be a restaurant up in McKinleyville called Pete's Bella Vista, and it's right on Bella Vista Hill. The building still exists, but the restaurant it's actually now Six Rivers Brewing Company, I believe, brewery. But Dad was so well known that he could just make a phone call ahead of time, and we pulled up to the back door, and they would come out with the biggest prime rib dinners you could ever imagine.
Oh, nice.
Dad, we didn't, and then we had at the restaurant a few times, but for the most part, it was like Dad would pick it up and go. But he could do that, like it's just because he was not like it was. They didn't do that for everybody, but Dad knew the lady who ran it, Carla, who was the manager at the time. Dad would just call her, and then she would meet us out the back door, and. So that,
what was Eddie like as a kid?
Oh, geez.
Good kid. He was a good kid. Yeah,
Did he ever give you any heartache, any troubles?
I got school a couple times, and he didn't think I knew about what I found out. I had a scanner.
Oh!
Yeah.
Caught red-handed.
But they did. I know that him and his brother both did a few things that I don't not supposed to know about.
Like what?
A little sauce,
A little sauce.
Yeah.
You and Gary used to drink in high school?
Sometimes. Well, my brother was we were athletes, so during our contract time, technically we were supposed to be on, like when we were playing sports, you weren't supposed to do any of that. You signed a contract saying that you wouldn't wouldn't do anything bad. And I'm like, and I'm not going to say Gary was still, I wouldn't say Gary did very much, but I mean, he'd have party. He had a group of his core group of friends were athletes, but some of them were pretty good partiers.
Yeah.
So
They're all
you never
good.
know.
These cats were
all,
good.
all good guys. But
They didn't smoke. That's one thing.
no,
That's
I
good.
didn't smoke.
Yeah,
I tried it a few times, and it just never anything that I liked. And it was,
What about girlfriends?
Yeah, he had a few different ones. Matter of fact, we ended up with a few dogs at the time.
One dog.
Michi. Little Michi was, yeah.
Michi!
I had a Chihuahua that my
little
mom ended
Chihuahua,
up with
that's
for
right.
years.
I've seen the pictures of that dog.
Yeah.
Your mom,
The
I'm
dog was
holding
old.
Barbie right now. She's so
I know
cute.
Barbie.
Isn't she the cutest dog? I mean, really though. Like, look how cute she is. If anybody, they could see how cute she is. Since you can't see her, she does have a Facebook page, the Barbie Wilson Fan Club, where you can see all her videos. She loves Papa too, huh?
Yeah, she does.
Yes, she does.
Hi.
Do you see Papa? You say good luck on your surgeries? Yeah, this little girl, she's almost your age. She's
Yeah, she would be.
70 years old.
70
Well,
years
so
old
she's
now.
still 10 years
Yeah.
behind.
Probably
you.
in better shape I am, too.
She's got her health problems too,
She takes some medicine every day too, Dad's like you. It's hard.
Yeah.
So what tell me about aging? Like, what's some advice that you could give us, like going into like physically aging, mentally aging? Like, what advice would you give your younger self?
Just, it's going to happen. You can't stop it, and you might as well enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice not to be so quick.
Yeah, life goes by so fast.
After you're about 50, it just seems like the weeks and days go by just boom, 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 I can remember in school, it took forever for high school, for the clock to go around so you get out of school to go party it. So,
Yeah.
So, I think we all feel like, I mean, I didn't start thinking about this until recently, but like, we go through life thinking like we're going to be young forever. Like, you don't realize like, oh, I am going to be an elderly person one day. I keep getting Facebook notifications and I want to turn it off, but I don't know if it's going to turn off the microphone audio. But we're all going to get old one day.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's crazy. Like, it's hard for me to imagine it, but is there something that we should be doing now in life that you could tell your younger self, like, how to live out our lives in this moment so that we don't have any regrets later?
Yeah, take care of your health.
Hmm.
Put your money away.
Mm.
Yes, that's one of the things, because Social Security is a great thing. It's a big benefit, but it's not the answer to your financial situation.
Right.
I mean, but it's hard to put money away. I mean, the cost of everything, even before this current time, just
Yeah.
I mean, everything's gone up, and and a lot of the businesses were left the area. I mean, we used to have mills everywhere, and all these guys working, and so business was good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that. And later on, you just but just enjoy. Just enjoy. Put your money away. Enjoy your kids. I didn't spend enough time with my kids. The
I feel
shop
like
was
I hear
toward.
a lot of parents say that.
I spent too much time at the shop. I didn't get in politics and the fire department and stuff like that. And you think you're having a great time, and you're what you are, but you're really not spending enough time with your. Then all of a sudden, they're older.
Mm-hmm.
They're 52 and 50 and 37 or hell's Jody?
43.
43,
Yeah.
geez. 43.
She loved that. 37.
She loved
Hey,
37.
right
And Jim probably appreciate the 37. But, it's 6 years younger than me.
Now I can tell why I'm old.
Tell me about your siblings.
My brother Wayne, the oldest, he's 85. 84, 84. I got a brother Don, he's 82. Then I myself, I'm 80. Brother Jim is 78.
Ooh.
And little sister Vicky is 68.
Wow, your parents were busy. That's a lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then a 10-year break and then another.
Yeah.
Let's try for that girl.
And the four boys were the most spoiled boys in the world. I mean, we could do anything in the world wrong, but we didn't do it wrong.
That's good.
Yeah.
And my sister came along, and because we were so wild as boys, I mean, she was babied.
Oh, of course. She was the only girl.
And she should be, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and a baby.
yeah, my dad took her everywhere. All of his Calito stuff out of town. So. But growing up with Wayne and the boys, Wayne was wild.
Oh, yeah.
He got married at 15 and a half.
What?
They've been married 70 years almost.
15 years old he was married? Wow.
Him and his wife, they've been married for years.
That's incredible. What's the secret? What is y'all's secret to these long marriages?
Well, I think that what I always said is too easy to get married and too easy to get divorced.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do. I mean, I'm sure my wife had thoughts. What is this old man doing? Get right to it. Yeah. But you got to hang out together. And if you do have a divorce, why be enemies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, Don's been married. He married a high school gal.
Wow.
A sweetheart. And Jim was married once before. Then he had a little baby that passed away, real young, infant. He'd been married to Sue for years, and she's a great lady. So, and then Vicky was married to get divorced, but good guy she was married, but she's just happy as a clam being single. Got 3 great kids, So, matter of fact, her son's a Hollywood producer.
Oh,
in
fancy.
Movies. Yes, yeah. Anyway,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Life is so crazy. Well, you've got plenty of years left, so you've got another 20 years, probably, right? Another.
If the doctor will tell me tomorrow afternoon how much I got left.
I mean, what would you do in the next
hardware store?
Hardware store. You're going to continue working the next 20 years.
And I'm going to volunteer as long as I can at the police. But if my buddy Susie leaves, I would leave.
We love Susie. Susie is our favorite.
Yeah,
we love Susie.
She's a great gal.
She's going to stick around until next year at some point.
And Kathy, my hardware boss, she's a doll.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, But no, I'm going to go to the hardware store as long as I can not be in the way.
Yeah. But how do you do it? I mean, how do you stay mobile? I mean, I injured my ankle the other day, and I'm like, I don't want to be on my foot. I don't want to be on my foot. You're 80 years old. You have a walker. You've got canes, and you're still choosing to get up every day and go to work that you don't have to do.
No, I don't.
And how do you motivate?
I just like it. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you. I mean, going to work when you have to go to work, I guess, is painful. But going to work when you don't have to go, you just do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And the hardware store is just a very interesting business.
Yeah.
There's something new every day. Yeah.
I love their outlook in life.
Yeah. Well, it's not always been this good. So, But,
is there a favorite quote that you have that you can recall that you want to leave folks with?
Man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Oh,
that's John Wayne.
John Wayne.
That's right.
Yeah, you're a big John Wayne guy, right?
Yes, always was. Yeah.
What are some of your other favorite things?
Tom Selleck.
Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
Blue
yes.
Bloods. Yeah.
Tom Selleck. What are some of your other favorite things? Tom Selleck.
That's right.
I used to love
Clint Eastwood in there too. Clint Eastwood, Clint's 91 years old.
Tom Selleck.
I used to like to play golf, but I wish I would have played a lot more because it's still a fun game. But right now, if I played golf, let's put it. There's no scoreboard high enough for me.
Oh, sizzle. I have a deck of Tom Selleck cards in my desk. I'll get you one. Okay. Anytime somebody in my team does something like worthy, I bring them into the Tom Selleck Club, and they get a picture with Tom Selleck on it, their favorite number, and they tape it to their desk. So, what's your favorite number?
Favorite number? 7, I guess.
7. I'll get you a 7 Tom Selleck when you come out of surgery.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So you're not nervous. You're a little bit nervous.
Yeah, but not bad, yeah. Tomorrow morning I'll be a little more nervous. But once you get there, they throw you on the gurney and
once they give you a medicine, you won't care. Give
me the happy shot. I don't care.
I tell you, once you get that, you really don't even.
Yeah, because you had surgery.
I did.
Yeah. So what is it? They give you nitrous, or what is it?
No. They give you usually something called Versed. It's a sedative, and it's an amnesic also, so you don't really remember.
Oh, so you're like all the way out.
I have very little recollection of getting wheeled to the operating room. I know that I was,
Is that just to kill your
nerves? It's just to sedate you. It's the beginning of the sedation process where they do all the other stuff to you. So it's like once they get you sleepy, and then they give you the other stuff which put you to sleep.
They told me I did the cuss when I was sleeping.
You cuss when you're sleeping?
So I got to watch myself when
I think it'll be fine. I don't think
Oh, it'll be fine. It's going to be a great surgery, and then you're going to come out. What's the recovery look like? Did they tell you?
The recovery, maybe 2 weeks at the hospital, and then 2 weeks rehab with my daughter-in-law,
Yeah, so he'll be staying,
Casey and Gary.
Yeah.
staying here.
That's
Here.
very nice of them to.
Oh, yeah, it's very nice. I mean, I've been in a rehab place somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's not fun because it's not
You're not
family.
family, yeah.
No, it's not
So
family.
is that you'll have to stay in a rehab place, or you have
No.
to just go there?
I'd have to if there was to forget Gary Casey taking me in here.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
And we're 5 blocks from the hospital. And
Yeah, and
Very
she
close.
knows people, which is really nice.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah,
you
believe
know,
me, I'm.
And so one of her coworkers will do dad's therapy.
That's so
His
wonderful.
cardiac therapy to get
That's
him
so
up
nice.
and running, and he'll have to transfer probably up to somebody up in Humboldt.
What a
eventually.
blessing.
Yeah, it makes it neat because I feel funny trying to intrude into somebody's house,
Yeah,
but
I get it.
they wouldn't. If it would have been for Casey, we'd have gone to another hospital.
Yeah.
And this put me on the right path
Yeah,
that she
we're
got
very
involved.
lucky. Yeah, I'm so glad that she was able to
Yeah.
arrange all that for you. And God
Yeah.
God works in ways, and this is one of them. And so we're
But I
very
got to get back
thankful.
in shape. I got things to do.
You got things to do.
I always like to say I
Yeah,
shouldn't say this,
things to
but I
do.
always like to get more people to piss off.
Yeah, you get more people to piss off.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, what's on your wish list? We need to get you some stuff. We're going to get you one of those special chairs, one of
Yeah.
those special recliner
You have
chairs.
to replace the recliner at the house. That's the
What else do you need?
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Yeah, we'll get you Gatorade for that.
Yeah. So what are you going to be able to eat? Like, will you able to only have soup or
Oh, probably mostly.
liquids?
Yeah,
Get it
I mean,
before,
right after,
yeah.
we'll see it. Hey,
Once I get all the needles out of me, I should be in pretty good shape. So
Mm. What's the first meal that you're going to eat when you can eat whole food?
meatloaf,
Oh
mashed
yeah.
potatoes, gravy,
Who's going to cook it for you?
cookie. My
She
wife.
makes a good meatloaf.
Yeah,
Mama
she does.
meatloaf.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I know who to go to for that. Look at this dog, Mr. Wilson. Barbie
Hey.
is just laying in Ed's arm like a little baby.
Yeah.
This little dog in her Halloween outfit.
I would say she's a little spoiled, but that's okay. We love to
Just a
spoil her.
little spoiled.
Love to
He's
spoil her.
so cute. Are you a cat or a dog guy?
Both. We had a cat that loved anybody.
That was the worst cat the mom could have ever gotten.
I mean,
man. I gotta tell
he
you,
just-
I've never been pleased with that cat.
Yeah. We thought it was going to be a lovey-dovey cat. It's not, but we
No.
still love it. I mean,
Yeah.
my God, it's
You
more
love
than-
it. It just doesn't love you.
No,
Well,
I mean,
it's
if you go to pet it, don't pet it more than 3 times. But we
That's
took
true.
it in, and we're not going to get rid of it. So.
Oh, what's its name again? The cat?
Annie.
Annie.
Yeah.
Annie the
Annie's
cat.
Annie, get
He's
your
not
gun.
so friendly. He's not the Annie.
Annie, the non-friendly
Annie, the
cat.
non-friendly. She's not the friendliest cat in the whole world. Barbara doesn't like her either. She goes over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Barbie. I'm so sorry.
Barbara
about
squares
that.
off with her.
All right. Well, we are running out of time. I appreciate you sitting down and talking
Oh,
with
no
me.
problem. I appreciate you doing it. That's
You and I have been trying to get a
Yeah.
podcast on for what, like 6 months?
yeah.
We keep talking about it and then
Yeah.
never actually. But I have a whole host of questions, and we only have 4 more minutes until the recording is up. And perfect timing, it looks like, because Brady is walking in the door. Let's see if he wants to come on and say hi really quick before it times out. He's opening the door. Brady, we're recording a podcast. We've got 2 minutes left on it. You want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Hey. Pablo was just talking about how grateful he is to be able to stay here with you guys.
That's
Introduce
awesome.
yourself.
I'm Brady.
Tell folks who you are.
I'm the grandson of Paul Wilson.
Do you have a message for him for his surgery?
It's gonna go great, and we're excited for you.
Yeah, and you just came from church, right?
I did just come from church.
How about we say a prayer? Would you like to come say a prayer for your surgery?
Yeah.
Casey's coming. She's the one we're talking about that has been taking care of him and arranged all this for him, and we're so grateful for that. Let's hold hands and let's say a prayer, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to pray?
Yeah.
Okay.
God, thank you for today, and thank you for all of us being here and celebrating Papa. And we know that his surgery is in your hands, and that it's going to go great. And we're praying for just an amazing time for everyone.
Yes, Jesus. And we just pray, especially just for peace and comfort just in today as we get through today and just as we head into the surgery. And we just ask that your hands be with Dr. Sharma, the surgeon, and that he just has an amazing recovery. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
You got this,
I
Mr.
got it,
Wilson.
I confess my sins away.
Why don't you sign off? Listen, at the end of every podcast, I always ask folks, because this is called the Choose Happy podcast, I ask folks what makes them happy.
Family.
Family.
Yep.
Amen. Family is everything. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Appreciate you being here. I hope you get out there, make it a great day, because you have a choice. Choose happy.
Choose happy.
Woo!